separated from the being that I was on your ship? Why was I on board your ship, and did I make some sort of agreement with you? Which is why I've come from Sydney to here.
The idea is, again, similar to what we have discussed, in that you are being shown more of your true self. You are, shall we put it more precisely, allowed to feel what it's like to be more of your true self. All you have to do is remember that feeling and live in it, and there will be no isolation. But
Yes.
that's the key. The key is that if you stay in that frequency, in that state of being, in that feeling, and then come from that feeling, come from that state when you create, you will be more harmoniously aligned with the self you were, your true self, on the ship. You follow that?
Yes, I do.
That's all it takes is the state. Remember what it felt like. Conjure that feeling up. And all of you can do that. Anytime you remember in any way, shape, or form the idea of feeling happy, joyful, in the moment, creative, love, bliss, ecstasy, spontaneity, conjure that feeling up and remember, the memory is the thing. You create memory in the present. It isn't a memory of the past. You are creating it now as you remember it. And all you have to do is understand that as you create that vibration, you are in that vibration. And as you are in that vibration, you are in the reality that is representative of that vibration. And all you have to do is continue to behave as if you know that. And you will see the reflection of that reality as it goes hand in hand with the frequency that you are willing to continue to choose moment after moment after moment after moment after moment after moment after moment. Did that make any sense?
It did. I'm still puzzled because I have experienced that, like, for me it was the ultimate experience where there's no time.
Yes.
Why
Yes.
do we choose to come back here?
Because you have work to do.
What is that work?
To
Can
live
you
your
give me
life. To experience the self you have chosen to be in this format. I'll put it to you on a grander scale. Many of you, and we a little bit hear this in the undertone of your comment. Many of you somehow assume that the timeless state is the thing that should always be there, as if that is somehow better than time and space. Timelessness is grand, and you can learn to use it. But the idea is that you want to experience. You want to experience. Experience can only be had in time and space. Change takes place in timelessness. But because change takes place in timelessness, you have no experience to remember of the change. You're simply different. And then you have an experience of the difference. But in order to have an experience of the difference, you have to have time and space. You want to admire and appreciate the mechanism of creation, and so you have created a place wherein it's possible to have time and space in which to experience the act of creation itself, instead of the pure creation which takes place in timelessness and of which you can have no experience and thus no appreciation. Did that make any sense?
It did. I'm still puzzled is why come through you, or what is my connection with you, or with your people?
Simply that there are those of you that will be similar in vibrational frequency to those of us, and thus like attracts like.
And one final question.
Yeah.
I was doing some channeling for a while.
Yeah.
Can you tell me who the beings, or the being who was speaking through me? I couldn't get any information.
Then I will also do you no such disservice. But remember, the labels are not important for many of you for now. It would actually be in your best interest if you were not to differentiate the idea into a concrete personality. Because the idea is that you're simply supposed to go with the feeling and the message and not stick a label on the messenger. You know that hasn't worked very well in your history. And I don't mean you personally. I mean the human history. When you focus on the messenger, the message, well, you know, goes in that appliance that you flush. So for now, allow yourself to simply focus on the feeling and not worry so much as exactly who, where, what, when, why, how, but just the idea of the experience.
Well, that's what I've done.
Thank you. Then you are doing exactly what you need to do.
Thank you, Bashar.
And the next. No, no, no. But you can be 5. Yes.
Good evening,
And to
Bashar.
you, good day.
I would like to address a situation that happened to me in
All right. Get out your envelope.
in my master bedroom
Yes.
several months ago.
Oh, a master bedroom. Not an apprentice bedroom, but a master bedroom. All right, go ahead.
I walked around a corner towards the bed,
Yes.
and I looked at my VCR,
Yes.
and on the VCR digital clock, it was reading 11 o'clock in the morning, and also 11:11.
Yes.
And
This
at
is
that,
kind of common for many of you to see these kinds of synchronous numbers reflected back to you.
and at that moment, an entity entered into the room
Yes.
in a energy form, not
Yes.
not a gray being.
Understood?
But it was long as if it was body-like,
Yes.
but no eyes, no,
Yes.
just energy.
Yes.
And I was frozen and
Yes.
in awe of
All
this
right.
entity.
Oh.
Through your teachings, I did not panic.
Thank you.
But after the entity left and I walked up the hallway, I was mad at myself for not saying, hello, thank you for taking the time out to visit me.
You
I
mean
didn't
you
say
think
anything.
that just because it didn't come out of your mouth, it wasn't said?
Well,
I want you all to understand something now very important. All time is one time. The event is who you are. And in the event, if you would want it to have contained sharing, greetings, communications, exchanges, then assume that it did, even though your personality and your mind can't necessarily be aware of exactly how it did. The event itself, that it happened, reflected by the idea of 11:11, which represents the opening of a door, the opening of a gate, that it happened is in and of itself the act of a hello, a greeting, an exchange, an openness, a sharing, a loving, an acceptance. The act itself said all those things. Why be redundant?
I guess through human teaching.
Yes, well,
But could you tell me, was this a spiritual entity, an entity for Esasani, or?
no, not exactly. It is more connected to the idea of serious energy, but we will go no further than that.
All right. All right, one other item addressing the idea of Bashar tapes.
One moment. I want you to understand, I will just say it this way. Rarely do we say anything that doesn't have a reason for being said. And though many of you may think we were just joking around when we said master bedroom, I want you to think back on this experience and understand that we meant it in a very specific way, and that it will give you a stronger clue as to what that encounter and that event was really all about energetically. All right?
All right.
And now, go on.
Addressing the idea of Bashar tapes on Bashar Tape History 101.
Yes?
You said that the moon was so large compared to the parent planet because the planet used to be larger. And then on a tape, Bashar tape of 1997, called The Engine of Ascension, you
Yes.
said that the founders brought the moon to the Earth system.
Yes.
So I was wondering, was there 2 moons?
No.
And
We did not mean to imply the idea of time in those statements. The idea of the Earth being larger has to do with the idea of the Earth's energy, and now its density, its compactness in containing all that energy in a smaller space, so to speak, in a denser time-space continuum, and thus the size of the moon needing to reflect that. It had nothing to do with the idea of what you would call solar system dynamic formity. Did you follow that?
Well, to some extent.
In other words, we were not saying that the bodies formed together and that the size of the moon was germane to the size of the Earth at the time of formation. We were saying that the Earth used to be bigger in terms of its expansiveness, its energy, and thus the moon needed to be of a certain size to balance that out, to equal it out, for a variety of reasons. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Number 4. Female.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
I've come across a substance that I know a couple people who are taking it and seem to be having dramatic results with it. It's called hydrogen-enhanced silica, and it supposedly balances your pH. It's the most powerful antioxidant available.
It's not the most powerful one, but it can be powerful, yes.
And it increases electrical conductivity.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so that was my first question is this what they claim that it is?
When created purely and when applied in appropriate circumstances and situations, yes, it does.
And what would be appropriate dosages, or is that totally individual?
It is.
Okay, and is this something that would be beneficial to me also?
In small amounts, perhaps, in certain circumstances, yes.
But not daily?
No.
What dosages are you talking about?
Three milligrams every other or third day.
Okay. Also, on the topic of self-love and self-acceptance.
Yes.
Since this is the most important thing that we can give to ourselves, but since, as you were mentioning...
It's all you have to give to yourself.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is giving yourself.
And as you mentioned earlier, many times there are blocks put into place, ways of thinking that are automatically will assume a stance with the self that is negative in some way.
In a sense, yes.
Can you elaborate more on sort of practically how you go about enhancing your self-love?
Oh, practically?
Well,
give yourself a hug every morning, noon, and night. Look in the mirror and say, I love you, every morning, noon, and night. Smile a lot. Run and play a lot. Drink a lot of water. Breathe deeply.
All right, how about, like, you run into circumstances that may automatically trigger old patterns of belief?
Do you know that they are automatically being triggered?
That's the point, is that I think that often many of us don't know when they're
being... But you do. Because you have just said so.
I don't think I know all of them.
Yes, you do, because you just said so. Any time that it appears as if you don't, you are choosing not to. Remember what you just said.
All right, so, okay, but the point is...
Yes. You asked us to make it practical. Okay. We are making it as practical as possible. Therefore, when you run into such circumstances where you feel yourself being triggered, all you have to do is remember this conversation and say, oh, yes, I am choosing to be triggered, and now it means I am aware that I am choosing to be triggered, and so I am no longer triggered. End of story.
How does that relate to, like, going into the energy states that we've talked about where you're in that very high vibration and you're feeling very positive? How can you use that also to enhance self-love?
You want me to cut, as you say, to the chase?
Sure.
Stop asking these kinds of questions. You are making it complicated by asking for patterns and courses and how do you do this and how do you do that and what kind of process is needed in this case and what do you do about that when that happens. You have all the understanding you need, but it comes right down to, once again, as we have said before to you, you just don't believe that you do. And so you're not willing to act like you do, and so you don't get to see that you do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I know. But you just don't want to hear it that way. Because you're trying to stretch it out.
Stretch it out?
Yes, you're trying to stretch it out. You're trying to keep me talking. You're trying to keep me noticing you, paying attention to you, feeding you. Your feathers have come in, your wings are strong, leave the nest. You know how to fly. Why? Because it's your instinct. It's your natural self. You just don't believe it.
Maybe if you purr, that'll help.
We cannot purr and chirp in the same interaction.
You've left me speechless.
Well, we've actually accomplished something. Now you have achieved mastery.
Oh, with that beautiful diploma,
Thank you.
I'll let you go. Thank you.
Number 5. Pass the magic stick.
Good day, Bashar.
And a good day.
Bashar, I had a dream, a really vivid dream, just recently where...
All right.
And I'd like your idea of what it meant. I was approached by this rancher who said that he had a large ranch and it was also connected to a national forest.
Yes.
And if he could borrow one of my horses,
Yes.
that I could ride with him on his ranch and in the forest. And of course, I've been having this strong feeling that I need to get out in nature a lot. So
Oh, well, all right. So
really,
you cleared that part of the dream up.
yeah. But all of a sudden I turned and looked, and the horse that I had loaned him
Yes.
was leaping off of this cliff.
Yes.
And it was like I caught it in midair, and I thought, oh no, that horse is going to jump off this cliff.
Yes.
And it just was still in midair for a bit.
Yes, and
then the
like you?
Like me.
Yes, in limbo, hanging,
Yes.
not sure whether to let yourself completely jump or whether to go back.
Okay, well, the rancher said to me, who was at my
Yes.
right side, and then he seemed more like a Native American shaman maybe.
Yes,
but
all
he
right.
said, it's okay, just let the horse leap.
Yes,
So,
leap of faith.
and so I looked down and there was a pool of water like you see in Yellowstone Park.
Yes.
You know, real clear water with,
Yes.
mineral water.
Yes,
And the,
we
and
have
the horse
clear water on our
disappeared-
planet, yes.
Yeah. And the horse disappeared into that.
Yes.
And again, I had great concern because he came up with his nose up, but it seemed like that's all, and then he just sunk below the water.
Yes,
And then all of a sudden my bear rug went in too,
yes.
and some other article that
All
appeared
right.
to be
All
mine.
symbols of your own power.
And it all went into this
Yes.
spring.
Yes. Are you telling me you don't get this? Is that what you want us to believe? That
Well,
somehow this is opaque to you?
well, the thing that I believe I understand, but I just wanted
Well,
to.
then tell us. What do you understand?
Well, horses have been very symbolic all my life to me because, first of all, I'm a Sagittarian.
All right,
and
well, very good.
Second of all, I love horses.
All right, well, in
And-
that you are also connecting it to the idea of what you call American Indians. The horse represents the new way,
Ah,
the new path. Take it. Take the leap. And understand, as we have recently discussed, diving into the water. If you dive with resistance,
yes.
you hit the water hard. It's like a wall. Smack, crack, you break. If you dive with grace, you enter the water smoothly, effortlessly, soundlessly. Do you understand the difference?
Yes. Except that I'm not clear on the leap I'm to take at this point.
You're not? The leap is to be your full self as best you can. Are you doing everything in your life that you would deem to be representative of the most exciting things you could do? Or are you holding back?
I must be holding back because right now I can't get in touch with what's the most exciting thing.
You can't?
Well, I haven't, or I've not
You
allowed
haven't?
myself to.
Well, it's not that complicated, you know. Do you want us to help illuminate this idea
Yes.
once again?
I would like you to.
All right. May I ask you a question first?
Yes.
Thank you. Why did you attend this interaction?
Because I love learning.
Because you love learning. So what you're telling me is that out of all the options you had available to you at that particular moment, you chose the one that excited you the most?
Yes.
Well, you see, that wasn't so hard.
No.
Are you telling me that you don't believe that that's all you have to do every moment? That it's got to be more complicated than that?
I'm wanting to learn that it isn't more complicated than
Well,
that.
you just did learn that.
Yes.
You already did it.
Yes.
And it isn't any more complicated than that. All you have to do at the end of this interaction, or even in the middle of it, is decide that out of all the options that are available to you to act upon in the next moment, choose the one that contains the highest excitement and act to the best of your ability on it. And in the next moment, choose again. And then the next moment, choose again. Whatever it is that contains the highest excitement, whatever it is that contains the highest excitement, act on it to the degree that you are capable of acting on it to the best of your ability. That's all you have to do. Moment to moment to moment to moment, every day. That's all you have to do, and you will be living your highest excitement.
Okay, now,
Yes.
one more question.
Yes.
I have friends who want me to run for public office.
Do you want to?
I didn't feel very excited about it when they mentioned it.
Oh, all right. Do you now?
I'm still...
All right. Always understand that you have the ability, all of you, to check on yourself in the following way. Once again, when something is offered to you, when a potential opportunity comes up, allow yourself to ask yourself, well, is it exciting or not exciting because of how I'm coloring it, or because it really is representative of who I am? Once you have made that honest assessment, are you downplaying it, not allowing it to be as exciting as it actually could be because you're afraid of something, because of a definition, because you are putting the definition on it? Or is it really not your excitement? Or are you allowing something to seem exciting that really isn't your highest excitement because you're actually afraid to go in the direction of your highest excitement, and you're just labeling this as exciting so that you won't have to face the change that you have to make, which you fear will be not exciting? You have to ask yourself those kinds of questions. And when you determine whether or not what you've been offered really is or isn't exciting, then you will know what to do. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, and that's what I've been doing, is reflecting every day.
All right.
You know, is
You don't have to make a decision now.
Okay.
Does that help you?
That helps a lot, Bashar. Thank you so much. And what?
And if you decide to go in that direction, well, I would suggest that perhaps you could saunter. You don't have to run for office. You could stroll for office.
I love it.
Because
I love
perhaps
it.
that's what's scaring you, is that you feel you have to run.
That is it.
Yes.
You got it right there.
So stroll for office. If that's what will make it exciting, then stroll. One of the ways to check and see whether or not a thing really excites you is to examine it from all possible definitional angles. And when you change the definition, see if it becomes all of a sudden exciting. And when you change the definition and all of a sudden it is exciting, you know you've hit the mark. And you know you're on track.
Well, you hit the mark.
No, you did.
Okay, you helped.
Thank you. Always willing to do that. Does that help you then?
That helped me a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Number 6.
I'd like some help.
Wait a minute. What happened to hello and good day?
I did that telepathically.
Yeah. All right.
Like this afternoon.
After I said what happened.
Well, we have to keep everybody up to speed with us.
I see.
I need some help finishing decoding an event.
Decoding an event. All right. Describe, define the event.
I was recently involved in an accident.
Of what nature are you referring to?
Automobile accident.
Yes.
And I want to emphasize here, I mean, I'm real down with the concept of being jarred into awareness or whatever with that.
Down with it. All right. Momentary translation. We understand.
Okay.
And
there's not a person who's more self-accepting and
yes, there is, but I'll take you at your word.
I mean, I'm really doing that a lot.
All right.
So
And
I don't feel like I needed to have my car. And here's the circumstances,
Yes.
just real quick. I was, if it were my fault or if I was, doing something, no. I was sitting at a stoplight, stopped,
Yes.
and this huge truck knocked my car into its next life. And
Maybe that's where you wanted to be.
well, I do have an issue with that.
Oh, I see. You're sure you're completely self-accepting?
Well, no, not completely.
Thank you.
But that doesn't have anything to do with my car.
Are you sure? It's your vehicle. It's your vehicle. It symbolizes how you believe you get from one place to another. If your car felt it, in a sense, reflected the idea of taking a knock to get you to move, maybe you're not so sure you don't need a knock to move where you say you want to be. Not that you need one, but maybe you think you do. After all.
But I understand that concept so well. I don't understand why I would need to still create that. And I'm working really hard on moving. I have passion. I'm following my joy. I'm doing.
Do you remember what we said about the idea of what true change represents? Of how you tell what true change is? I'll repeat it if you want.
Well, let me try.
Oh, all right.
When you really change inside and you're not looking to the outside to have to reflect that back to you.
Which means, in your behavior,
you act differently.
Yes. You respond differently to what happens, knowing that what happens is something that you chose as an event.
Right, and I was real. I mean, like when the accident happened,
Yes.
remember your.
Well, one moment. Remember that you said, "Well, I didn't need this," but you chose it. So you must have thought you did. So that's a contradiction.
Okay, which gets me in touch with my feelings.
All right, thank you.
I did my homework on this.
All right, thank you. Go ahead now.
It made me feel like no matter how much work or introspection or control, and I know that's I'm not really into
Go ahead, I'll let you get away with that
Thank
one.
you.
Because I understand where you're going.
Okay, that
Yes.
the grand piano's going to drop out of the sky. There's nothing I could have done in that circumstance.
All right, very good. And here is, as you say, the $64 million question. And why is this event not part of your joy instead of being labeled an interruption in it?
Well, I really did that. That's what I tried to do. I was just going to
But
say.
that's not what you're doing now.
Well, because I'm covering that side of it. That's how I got through the experience. That's how I didn't just go into meltdown. Was doing what you just said. I was
Yes.
like, oh,
So you have used it
I'm sitting there
constructively.
on the street. Oh, I'm so happy this happened.
Yeah.
This is a wonderful thing.
Now, one moment. Understand, of course, and I know you do. We are not talking about glossing things over.
Right.
We are not talking about pretending and covering up real feelings. That's not what we talk about when we talk about the idea of be positive. You can understand that you can feel a lot of pain in this circumstance and situation, but that it's all right to feel that pain. It's all right. I don't mean you have to go around going, I'm happy I'm in pain. However, you understand that it's all right that things are the way they are because you're going to be using it for a particular reason.
Basically, what I got out of it was that it was, in fact, to jar me out of my inertia.
All right, and so you admit that that is something you believed you needed.
Well, but I thought I was past that. I really
You
thought
keep
I was
saying
past
that.
that.
How about if I say this to you and see what kind of feelings this stirs up in you? Get ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, that's.
It's going to be what you call a zinger.
I've got rubber shoes on.
I'll have to ask your permission. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
You will never be past it. Ever. Ever, 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 no, not ever will you be past the possibility of experiencing transformation that way. But that's the point. When it's all right with you, not just that those things might happen, when it's all right with you that they might happen forever,
Okay,
then it will be less likely they will need to happen.
Okay, so
But if you keep assuming that you're supposed to get past that point, you will never get past that point, because there is no point to get past, because there's only here and now, and you can't get past here and now.
Okay, I can even. That's cool. I can do. So was this just an exercise that I was for myself to see
Yes.
how I would handle it?
For exactly what you're going through now. For you to learn what you have learned, generally, and to specifically understand that it has to be all right. It has to be all right that you might never get past it. And paradoxically, it will never happen again. But only when it's all right that it might happen at any moment. That is true surrender. If you keep on guard, if you keep a watch out, oh well, now, yes, whew, I'm past that. That'll never happen again. Bang! The universe will prove to you you are never past anything. Anything can always happen. Anything can always happen. And, in fact, that's what you're learning. By expanding, by becoming more of your consciousness, that's what you learn, is that at any given moment, anything is possible. And when that's okay, then what will manifest will be representative of your willingness and allowance to let anything be possible. And the willingness and allowance is what will feel more smooth and not have to be reflected in what you typically call extremes as you have described it. But again, paradoxically, it has to be all right for such an extreme to happen for it not to need to happen. Does that make more sense? Does that sink in?
Yeah.
That's why you gave yourself the smack. To remind yourself that that possibility will never vanish. Ever, 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 ever. The possibility will never vanish because all things exist here and now. Does that put you at ease?
Immensely. I'm at total peace.
Thank you. If you are willing truly to be at total peace with that, you will not then have to be in total pieces. Yes.
Just one last quick one.
Yes.
Is our planet in a different position? Like when I lay out in the sun looks like in a way different place. Are we in a different place?
You are always slightly in a different position, but there are different energy surges and different things that are happening in relationship between your Earth and the Sun, and the coming into a new cycle of relationship. So in a sense, very much so in energy, yes, and slightly physically, yes, as well.
Thank you.
You. Then the female. Number 2, do you know who you are? All right. Number 1, good day.
Good day. A question. Within a linear timeline,
Yes.
the question of the paradox has always intrigued me.
Yes.
If indeed someone does travel back in time,
So to speak.
and does an act which would, in the future timeline, create that traveler from being born, if they return to that timeline, would they still exist?
Yes. You know why?
Yes, because he was originally. I feel that because he was originally created, he could not destroy himself retroactively.
The point is this. The traveler can go, apparently, back into time, destroy any chance he has of being born, and still be just fine. You know why?
Not necessarily.
Oh, thank you. Because what you're really looking at are discrete parallel realities. What you perceive as linear time isn't really one timeline. It's an infinite number of timelines. The idea is that what you experience now is what you experience now. That's your time. Going into an area where you quote-unquote meet yourself is actually meeting another of yourself. Do you follow?
Yes.
Because in your own created history, did you remember meeting yourself?
No.
Well then,
Indeed.
that you will never have met yourself from the future. So the past self that meets the future self will be another past self. Because everything you can imagine is somewhere real right now, simultaneously interpenetrated, interlocked, and going on. So that past you is not the past you of you, it's another past you. It's its own reality altogether, and really doesn't have to have a connection in continuity, linearly, to the idea of what you are referring to. Does that make some sense to you?
Perfectly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also,
Yes.
there seems to be a lot of concern now about the supposed Y2K problem that is going to be occurring.
Yes. Some individuals will have a few problems with it. Some
Yes.
individuals will not.
Okay, in your perception, there's not going to be a global shutdown of computer systems and all this nonsense people keep referring to?
There may be localized difficulties, and maybe not even for that reason. We will not go deeply into that. Again, suffice to say, those that are of a certain frequency will already have alternate systems in place when they need to. And I'm not just necessarily referring to the idea of computer systems. Don't worry, just relax. All right?
I'm not.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2. Oh, all right. Let's wait for Michael.
Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Bashar, I was just wondering, after we die and if we meet our loved ones,
Yes.
how do we recognize them? In other
How
words,
could you not?
I don't know. That's what I don't understand is, let's
Yes.
say if my mother died when she was 20 and I died when I was 70, would I see her? I mean, she'd look younger than I would and I'd look old, or is it a totally energy thing? Or
Yes. First of all, yes, the recognition is an energy thing, first of all.
Okay.
You just know who they are. You just recognize them. However, because you are now, in a sense, in a world of spirit, and you are a world spirit in that sense, you are made of spirit, you can appear, you can make an appearance, project an appearance in any way, shape, or form you want, and so can she.
okay.
And so she can look any way she wants. She can look in whatever way will be symbolic of what would be most recognizable to you. But that will be a reflection of what she gets from you
Right.
as what would be most recognizable. Do you follow?
I follow.
Unless there is a purpose in you not recognizing them right away. And then she will look like that. Sometimes guides will also take the appearance of someone that someone would recognize, even though they are not classically that person and never have been, just to put the person at ease in their transition.
Okay.
Do you follow that?
Yes, I do.
Really, you are, in a world of imagination where there really isn't a time lag between what you think and what you perceive. What you feel is what you are and how you present yourself. And to whatever degree you still relate to the idea of time, space, and matter is usually the degree to which you will make a presentment that will have some resemblance to physicality. Because sometimes, especially if in your terms they have been dead for a long time, they really have no physical presentment that you would recognize left at all. They may just be glowing energy or something even more nondescript. But if you need to look at them and see them in a certain way because you are still so used to the idea of perceiving people that way, then you will perceive them as you need to, and that's what will work.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes total sense. I thought it was that, but I just wanted your confirmation.
Yes.
One other thing is, after when I die
Yes.
in this life, can I be reincarnated in Esasani?
Yes. And again, please again remember, all of you, that this is just a linear terminology. All existences and all events and all experiences that you call incarnations and otherwise are all going on right now. So, on one hand, yes, euphemistically, linearly, conveniently, you can die and you can reincarnate in another life, on another planet, or on Earth, or what have you. However, you will always be you. You, physically, will always be physical. You, as a spirit, when you die, will always be a spirit. You will always be there. You'll always be accessible there. And the you that you think of yourself as the reincarnated you, is a distinctly different you. But you can make a linear connection to have the experience of a linear continuity from one life to another. But all those lives are discrete. They are all autonomous. They are all self-aware of themselves as their own realities right now. Make sense?
Yes, and I will know that when I'm in an...
You will know it in whatever way you need to know it, in whatever way that serves you to know it, based on what kind of experience you believe you need. Do you follow?
Yes.
Then, understanding that, we will extend once again to each and every one of you our deepest appreciation for this reflection and for allowing us to be momentarily, temporarily, a mirror to remind you that anything and everything you have ever realized within this interaction has been because you gave it to yourself. I have given you nothing except an opportunity to love yourself, and that is what has given you everything else. And you have allowed us to experience the gift of being allowed to give the opportunity. And we thank you for that great gift. Our unconditional love to each and every one of you.
Greetings, Bashar. My question is, one night I had a dream where the apartment I live in was haunted. It was a pretty vivid dream. And in the morning, when I got up, I was doing my morning routine. And at one point, I thought about that dream. And when I did, the lights in my kitchen flickered. And they've never done that before, and they haven't done that since. Is there a connection? Thank you, and have a great day.
Someone in spirit is attempting to get your attention. So, pay attention to it. Be positive in your vibration. And whatever positive energy or information needs to come through from spirit, you'll eventually make the connection more consciously and receive that information. So, just know that something is attempting to get your attention and stay in a positive state with that idea. You will receive what you need to receive eventually. Good day.
Good day to you, Bashar.
Good day. What would you like to discuss this day?
My first question, although I think I have been a fairly good person most of my life, there are a few things I regret doing, one of which caused some memory loss. The memories have started to return slowly over time, but they are fragmented and incomplete.
All right.
Is there a way to streamline my memory recovery and become whole again?
Well, have you learned to do something different from this experience?
Yes. I've mostly been relying on rosemary oil, sleeping longer.
I don't need to know the details. I don't need to know the details.
Okay.
I'm just asking you in general. Whatever it is you did that you say you now regret doing, have you learned from the experience and are now doing something differently that you believe is more in alignment with your true self? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then there is no need for regret anymore, is there? If you're learning from it?
I guess not.
The regret is weighing you down and holding you back. That's the way to streamline yourself. If you acknowledge that something has been done that you don't prefer yourself to do, and you have been willing to allow yourself to learn a lesson from it and change who you are and do things differently that's more in alignment with who you truly need to be, regret does not have a place in that formula. The regret served a purpose in simply getting you to recognize that it was not something you prefer to be. Once you recognize that, there is no more room for the regret. It has done its job. It served its purpose. So let it go. Yes?
Yes.
That will streamline you and move you forward. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
You are welcome. Anything else?
How can we see auras and the flow of spiritual energy around us?
By raising your vibration, which you are on the path of doing. It will happen naturally. Of course, you may attract yourself to some methodology, and if that permission slip works for you to increase your ability to stretch your senses to perceive those energetic things, then that's fine too. Trust synchronicity will bring you what you need. But the idea, again, is that as you allow yourself to become more and more of who you are and move forward, your vibration will increase, and a natural result of your vibration increasing will be that your senses will begin to see things that you heretofore couldn't. So it's just a natural part of your evolution.
What can we do to improve if we go into a meditative state, but we're not making any progress?
But depends on what you define as progress. What are you insisting must happen when you go into a meditative state? Insisting that something particular must happen is actually the opposite of being in a meditative state.
Well, if you're sitting in meditation, but you're only experiencing a dark void.
What's wrong with that? Dark voids are quite beautiful.
I was hoping to get a little bit more out of the experience.
Well, maybe that kind of experience is not designed for something you actually find workable. Or again, you're bringing too much insistence and expectation in what you think it's supposed to do. Maybe you have other ways of meditating, maybe not. But I just gave you the hint that if you explore the dark void itself, you may find there's more there than you think. Instead of insisting that something else should be happening other than the dark void. Maybe the dark void is exactly where all the information you seek lies. Think about the dark void in a different way. Define it in a different way, and maybe it will surprise you as to how much the dark void actually contains. But don't be insistent about it. That's exactly the opposite of the state of meditation.
Okay.
Remember, there are active meditations too. Are you acting on your highest excitement as often as you possibly can? Hesitation usually means no.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say, no.
So why not?
I'm not.
Why not? What's holding you back from doing so?
Fear of the unknown, most likely.
Why do you fear the unknown? The only thing you'll ever discover in the unknown is more of yourself.
I'll take that under consideration, Bashar.
You may take it under consideration for as long or short as you wish.
What's the best way to consistently contact the angelic realm?
Do you have a way that you prefer to open up to the idea of the angelic realm? What does your imagination and creativity conjure for you when you think of making contact with the angelic realm?
Usually I try to raise my vibration so that I can get into the mind state of a higher being.
All right, but don't make it so difficult when you say try to raise your vibration. When you open up to the idea, the very thought, the very concept of connecting to the angelic realm, how does that idea feel to you?
Great. I mean, I feel good when I'm trying to do so.
All right. So understand, it's not about trying to do so. When you feel good by just simply conceptualizing doing that, you are raising your vibration. Because understand the trick. Remember when we said, if you have heard us say this, that you cannot conceive of what you're not the vibration of already?
Yes, I remember you saying that.
Therefore, even being able to conceive of the idea of connecting to the angelic realm means you're already in the proper state to do so. Otherwise, you would never be able to even conceive of doing something like that. That's the trick. Does that make it easier?
Yes, it does.
There you go.
Uh,
Again, don't have insistences or expectations on how that must actually respond to you. It may respond in a number of different ways, through synchronicity, a number of different ways. So don't have an insistence and say, oh, it's not working because I'm not hearing an angel talk to me or blow a trumpet in my ear. Just make the connection, know that you're making the connection, know that they're receiving it, and know that the response will come in whatever way actually serves you best, and therefore don't limit the way you are able to receive it by insisting that it must happen in the way your physical mind thinks it should. Just let it come in the way that actually works best. So do it, make the connection, know you've made the connection, know there will be a response, and then let it go and get on with your life. And it will come.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's all about not trying too hard. It's just about doing it. It's just about knowing that you're doing it because you understand how physics works and knowing that you wouldn't be able to conceive of making a connection to the angelic realm if you weren't already in the vibration state to do so. Therefore, it's done. The minute you conceive of it, it's done. Then go on to the next thing that excites you and let synchronicity bring you whatever needs to bring you in perfect timing and in a perfect methodology. It will be recognized by you for what it is when it needs to be. Until that moment, just move on.
Okay.
Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Will that help?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
All right.
There was an incident in the Barney and Betty Hill alien abduction case where an alien being put his hands over a book and was able to absorb the knowledge within it. Are we capable of the same thing?
Absolutely. Remember, information is available anywhere and everywhere. You just have to resonate at the same frequency as the information that you seek. And it's exactly the same idea that we just explained to you about the idea of making contact with the angelic realm. Just know that the very concept itself contains the vibration you need to be at. And then just let the information come when it needs to come. You don't always need every single piece of a book. You will get what you need.
Were the feats of King Solomon in the Bible real or just a fable?
Some of them are real, some of them are misinterpretations, some of them are for the idea of making a point.
Okay. And with your species, do you have a concept of marriage?
Not in the way that you do. Our entire society considers itself to be married to everyone else.
Oh, that's impressive.
If you say so. It's just who we are.
And as of right now, are you happy?
Always. I am never not happy.
And how do you maintain that level of happiness?
Why would I choose anything else? That's the answer. What reasons would I create for myself to choose anything but happiness?
Point made.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hi, Bashar. It's my understanding that I'm a precursor being. If this is true, it would also appear that I came here for the purpose of inventing a communications tool. My question is this true? Was my major purpose to create this tool? And is this project considered a success? Thank you.
It may be one of your purposes. Now, you have a misunderstanding about the term precursor. Precursors are not from Earth. They are hybrid beings that may arrive from time to time on Earth and walk among you to see if you can actually perceive the difference between them and a typical human. You are not a precursor in that context. But you are part, like many people, of the evolution of humanity who may have come through to create certain things that can help accelerate that. The idea of communication devices is one way in which many people who are part of the evolutionary...
About your feminine counterpart, Anima. What role does she play in your life? How can we strengthen our relationships with our male and female counterparts on Earth and beyond?
Well, again, by examining your belief systems and letting go of the ones that are outdated, outmoded, old-fashioned, and forming no balance within yourselves and recognition and respect of equality. Differences, of course, are valuable, but the idea is that fundamentally you are all equal in that context. The idea of Anima as a social engineer accompanies us many times on first contact scenarios, especially after open contact, to help guide and suggest and encourage different kinds of social engineering in societies than that society may have been used to for its history. So the idea is that Anima will also be present in many cases when we arrive and will help with the reconfiguration and social engineering of the systems on your planet to the greatest benefit of your entire population. In other words, you may call her, in that sense, a sociological efficiency expert.
Is she actually your feminine counterpart, and what does that mean?
It means we are extensions of the same oversoul.
And so do you commonly, when you're doing first contact work, do you do it with Anima?
And others, yes. She is my primary because of our soul connection.
And can you tell us a little bit about the frequency of first contact? Like, you've helped us understand that human beings operate at different frequency ranges,
yes,
and that the higher frequency states tend to be between 175,000 and up to about...
Yes. Open contact will require a stable frequency above 200,000 cycles per second.
Really? Yes.
Yes.
So are you saying the vast majority of people on the planet, as it stands now, would not experience first contact?
Correct.
And
at least not yet in their reality, in their version of Earth. They may change and experience it later on, but again, we are not expecting the idea, due to the probabilities of choices that you have on your planet, the vast majority that exists now, to be the majority that will exist during open contact. Those that shift to the other Earth will join those already there, already existing in that alternate reality, and they will form a new majority. But the majority of the individuals on your planet now, as you understand it, on the version of Earth you experience now, will not experience contact with us in the way that you understand that concept. They may experience other things.
When you say contact with you, are you talking about the Sasani beings, or are you talking about Pleiadian and others?
There is a range. There is a range. Some may experience every variation you can imagine. Some will not experience us at all.
So if you're on the Earth now where you can see the other realities, the negative ones that are happening on the planet, but you're seeing it through the glass wall in that sense, will that be the case for those who experience contact, where they can see so many divergent realities?
Some may be capable. For some, it will simply not be relevant for them to perceive it that way. It depends on the individual and the theme that they are exploring and what they will do with that.
Do you expect then that large segments of the population would literally disappear from the reality of those that are going to have contact?
Yes.
Okay, and so that would not necessarily, how would that occur? How would that occur?
You are constantly shifting, remember.
Yes.
It may not actually be such a big mystery. the idea would be, just like sometimes you have contact with individuals you call friends, and then sometimes years later you simply find that you haven't seen them for quite a while, and you don't necessarily think anything of it. You just imagine they have gone on to their own path, and that your paths will not necessarily cross again. You may have different ideas about what that experience will be like, but it won't necessarily be a mystery for many. It'll simply be like people have simply left your life, have gone out of your life. Some may appear to have died, but some may simply not be around for so long that you simply don't think about them anymore, or you wonder where they went, but never encounter them again.
So I would imagine it's not an accident that we're simultaneously going through massive climate change and potentially a massive extinction event in coordination
Not
with
going
the...
to be talking about anything in the way of a prediction, but yes, such things are possible with the shifts going on, because again, you're shifting through versions of Earth. So you may experience a variety of things that are all representative of the splitting prism until you make decisions to align with a particular timeline or path and other versions of Earth that will take you in a different direction.
Well, this will probably make more sense to us as we become more and more used to the level of plasticity, where
Yes.
the Earth can shift a great deal, our realities can shift a great deal. And some of the skills that we're learning right now are how to navigate changing realities that may let you feel unmoored or not as grounded to a specific reality.
Yes, temporarily, but it will become a normal state for you, a state you will get used to in the constant idea of shifting, because the more you understand that you are projecting and creating your physical reality, the less you will rely on the idea of stasis as a representation of stability, and the more you will feel comfortable with the idea that change is truly what is stable.
So that would figure into the idea that many humans do not enjoy change, or they believe that change is uncomfortable, fearful, creates anxiety.
Yes.
Those kinds of things is, in a sense, a skill set that we're learning, is how to be in physical reality, or as physical reality, with greater amounts of change and seemingly unmoored realities without having getting panicky.
It is not getting used to more change. It is getting used to the idea that you're constantly changing.
Because you mentioned when you're in spirit, you can navigate change quite easily.
Yes.
It's the natural flow. You're always experiencing the next chapter, in a sense.
And you are doing so even in physical reality, since that's nothing but a projection of consciousness. Again, it's just that most people on your planet are not aware of it because of the agreement you made to experience the idea of linear time and continuity. But once you accept the idea that you're constantly shifting billions of times per second, you can get used to that idea and form a new understanding and relationship with the idea of change as stability.
So the disorientation that humans often experience around change, this is an issue of definition and attitude?
It is an issue of definition and perspective and attitude, yes. Because again, you're already doing it. That's the irony. You're already changing all the time. You're never the same from moment to moment. It's just about understanding how that serves you in experiencing physical reality.
Is part of our resistance to change the idea that we have to redefine ourselves under new circumstances?
Part of it, yes.
And that perhaps we haven't developed that skill as well as we could have it expressed if we were more clear about who we are and what we're doing here and how this is all happening.
Yes, and those that choose to follow the formula as precisely as possible will find that they actually come to quite enjoy the idea of constant change, because constant change is also the ability to constantly redefine yourself in the way that you prefer to. And therefore, it gives you a sense of freedom.
Now, I know you pretty much answered this question, but I do want to ask it again through the way that this person expressed it. They said, you've talked about how the splitting prism is expanding. In the coming period, is it likely that we will experience sudden dramatic splits where significant parts of the population who are incompatible with the collective vibration suddenly vanish, similar to what you described in the Sasani Shikana experience?
Yes, it's possible. For many people, they may choose to do it a little bit more gently. But yes, it's absolutely possible for someone to have a continuity break like that with linear time.
You had mentioned the eye of the needle. Can you tell us where we are with regard to the eye of the needle, and how and when will we know if we've transitioned to the new Earth?
You are constantly transitioning. You need to stop, first of all, talking about it as if you're just going from one Earth to another Earth. You have to spread the idea out over the fact that you are constantly transitioning. But in terms of arriving, so to speak, you never stop transitioning. It's just that you will start to notice eventually that the versions of Earth you are transitioning through, you are shifting through, will be more representative of the kind of reality that you prefer, will be rife with synchronicity to your advantage, will be joyful and constantly creative. So you will know when you arrive at the time stream of the different versions of Earth that you will continue to go through, that'll be more and more reflective of that state of being. You will recognize it, but that doesn't mean you've stopped shifting. It doesn't mean you've stopped going from one version to another. It's just that you have constantly now gotten to the point where you choose only versions that reflect the idea of what we just described.
And is there anything you can share with us about the things that are happening sort of behind the scenes that are increasing the probability of certain events on the planet?
Well, again, I and others are pumping different kinds of vibrational frequencies into the vortices around your planet to give you more opportunities to make decisions based on your preferred choices, to make it easier for you to transition without going through the idea of shock treatment. So the idea is whether or not you're willing to really look deeply within yourselves, let go of the belief systems that don't serve.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I have a question about, today you were talking about parallel universes and
yes.
Talking about...
And I was probably talking about parallel universes in a multitude of parallel universes.
And one of the things you touched on was that there comes a time when you start recognizing the shift between the parallel universes.
Yes.
And you start realizing that reality isn't something that we've been conditioned to believe. And so my question is more of asking you for advice on how to not get lost in integration, because sometimes I reach these higher states and I start seeing...
Do you have a belief that you can get lost? Why don't you find out why you have a belief that you can get lost instead of a belief that you will always know your way?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, is that too simple? Do you want it to be more complicated than that? I apologize. I know sometimes how much you humans love to complicate things because you often feel that it's not really worthwhile if it's not difficult. But it is that simple. Oh, there I go again. Can it be that simple for you to know that the only way you would feel lost is that you have a belief you can get lost? And if you actually find out that that belief doesn't serve you and is illogical for you to hold on to, you can replace it with a belief that says there's no way you can possibly get lost. And even in what may seem to be a moment of getting lost, that you're simply finding another portion of yourself. Remember, the only thing you will ever discover in the unknown is more of you. That's all that exists in the unknown, more of you. So how can you get lost when all you're ever going to find is more of you? And that you will be there saying, hello. What took you so long? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking I was lost. Oh, silly human. Tricks are for kids. I don't play tricks. I am your higher mind, and I always guide you unerringly. You don't have to trust it, but that's another game.
So,
yes.
Another part to that question is, when I'm integrating and experiencing some of the things that we've been talking about,
yes,
I feel like I'm challenged with just living my day-to-day life of like food.
When you say, all of you, please understand, when you say, I feel, what you're saying is, I have a definition that allows me to feel this. You cannot have a feeling without a definition first. There is no such thing as having an emotional response if you don't already define something as being true. So if you have the feeling, own it, love it, accept it, acknowledge it, all well and good. But don't just stick with the idea that the feeling is justifying continuing to have the feeling. Just because you have a feeling doesn't mean that you have to continue to have that feeling. The feeling brings to your attention that you must have a definition that generates that feeling. So find out what the definition is and see if you want to perpetuate that definition. If you change it, you'll change the feeling. Because you cannot have a feeling without a definition. All thoughts, all actions, all behaviors, all feelings come from something you believe and define to be true first. Thus, that's how you use your behaviors and use your thoughts and use your feelings to trace back to what the definition must be in order to actually generate that feeling. Instead of just getting stuck in the idea that just because you're feeling something, you have to just keep feeling it as if that's justified unto itself. Make sense? Yes. So, catch yourself when you say, I feel, and stop yourself right there and say, all right, I have a feeling. That's good. That's all well and good. I acknowledge it. I own it, because you can't change what you don't own. Don't suppress it. Don't get rid of it. Don't ignore it. Own it. This is my beautiful feeling. But what does the feeling tell me? What must I believe is true in order to have this feeling? Find out what that definition is, and you, once identifying that definition, will reveal to yourself how that definition makes no sense for you to hold on to, and once you let it go, you will not have the same feeling. And if you continue to have the feeling, then you have yet another definition that is making it seem logical to continue to choose something you say you don't prefer. It's that simple. Really, it is. It's just physics. It's just energy. It's just vibration. It's just resonance. Is this making some sense?
Yes.
Is this helping you?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
I knew you. Good day.
I just simply want to express my incredible gratitude for the information you express and how you give it off and how I've been able to integrate it within myself in a very, very powerful and positive way.
Thank you.
And
our gratitude to you as well for choosing to do so.
Thank you. And how as I move through my experience in my life, and I more and more how, I don't know how to express it, that, that I'm becoming more holistic with my higher self, my higher mind. Yes. But occasionally I feel like there's incredible synchronicity flowing through my experience, and it's at some point there's like a lull in the experience. And
well, sometimes you have to stop and smell the roses, as you say.
Yes.
You have to absorb what you've learned.
Yes.
The idea of a roller coaster is that you don't just stay on the hill, you have to go down the hill to really get the thrill.
Okay.
Now remember, even though you may all feel that sometimes you're going like this, up and then there's a down, and up and there's a down, and there's a high and a lull, and a high and a lull, you're not really going like this. You're going like this.
Nice.
You're always rising.
Always
the
expanding.
lulls allow you to absorb what you learned on the high and apply it in physical reality so that you can increase the total energy of your experience and the next time reach an even higher high because you're always climbing.
Okay. Good. That's good to know. It's good to always know. I mean, I always know. I know that in my
This
experience.
is
Yes.
an illustration and case in point in the idea of truly allowing your imagination to be flexible enough to come up with these illustrations and definitions for yourself so that you can create and define your reality the way you really prefer to, instead of just settling for the idea that it's a low, and I have to stick with that, I have to settle for that, I just have to accept it's a low. Redefine it. Redefine low as high.
It's integration process.
And then see how high you can go from there.
Always higher. Always
which
expanding.
is what we just did. For as you see, even though there are highs and lows, the low is always higher than the last high.
Okay. Nice.
Ooh. Does this help?
Oh, it's incredibly helpful.
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
we thought perhaps it would be credibly helpful, but there you go.
That's quite. Yeah, I think, that as, I'm going through in this expansion process and this incredible transformation time on this planet, I just, as you say, just like I've had experiences of, incredible expansion.
Yes.
And, all the time. And it just seems like the next one just overtakes the last one.
Yes,
and overtakes the last one. And the last one.
And trust me, as far as we know, that will never end. Whether you are physical or not, it will never, ever end. Expansion is infinite.
Yes.
Wow. So have fun.
Oh, always.
Have fun forever.
Ever.
Unless you don't think you can handle it.
Oh, I can handle it. I'm just very, very excited for it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we're done.
So if you think that there's nothing outside that can affect us, is that true?
There is no outside for anything to come from. There is only within. Everything that you experience occurs within your consciousness. You understand that?
Okay.
There is nothing outside. There is no outside for anything to be in. There is nothing outside your consciousness.
Everything is in my consciousness.
Everything.
Within.
Oh. Everything.
Okay.
The only way you can have an experience of any kind is if you create that experience within your consciousness.
Like, for example,
Yes.
nature.
Nature.
Yeah, when I'm in nature, I
Yes.
feel good.
Yes.
Why is that?
Did she really ask that question? All right. Why is that?
Well, if nothing...
When I say there is nothing outside, I don't mean in the colloquial sense that there's nothing outside the building. Nature, however, to answer your question more directly, is by its very definition more in tune with the frequency of your natural self.
Right.
Therefore, you feel good because you are using nature as a permission slip to allow yourself to be more in touch with your natural vibration. And that always feels really good.
What I think, okay, I got it, but then how about anything negative outside? When I feel bad, something happens outside.
When you feel bad, it's because you believe that your relationship to that circumstance is defined in a negative way. Redefine your relationship to the circumstance, and you will not feel bad. I am not saying to ignore the feeling. You must acknowledge the feeling. All right, I feel bad. Why? What would I have to believe is true about my relationship to this situation in order for me to have this feeling? Because remember, all emotions, without exception, all emotions, all feelings only exist because there is a belief that exists first. You cannot have a feeling without having a definition or a belief first. So if you have a bad feeling, all right, acknowledge it. All right, I've got a bad feeling. So what? Now, I ask myself, do I prefer this feeling? Well, no. I would prefer something else. I would prefer to feel joyful. All right. So let me ask myself, why did I have this bad feeling? What brought this about? Well, I know that feelings come from beliefs. Oh, all right. So, what kind of a belief, the question goes, would I have to have about my relationship to the situation in order for me to have a bad feeling about it? That's how you begin the process of self-investigation and finding out what the definition is, and in finding out what the definition is and identifying it, you can then find out why you had it, and when you find out why you had it, you can let that go and change it for something else you would prefer as a belief. And when you change it for a belief you would prefer, then that belief will generate a feeling that you prefer, which will also generate thoughts that you prefer, which will also generate behavior that you prefer.
I tried that. I know you taught us that, but it's not that easy.
That's a belief.
Okay.
You see? So now the question is, why do I have a belief that says it's not that easy? You see, that's the next step. You can always take the question to the next level. If you find that you have tried it one way, as you say, and it doesn't seem to be working for you, look at the essence of what you're actually saying. What's the result? All right, the result that you're feeling is, this is difficult. It's not that easy. Very good. You've now arrived at another place where you have something to work with. So acknowledge it. All right, I acknowledge that I have a feeling it's difficult. I have a feeling it's not that easy. That must mean what? I have a belief that it's not easy. Why do I have that belief? And you can start the investigation again and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that until you truly find the true fundamental foundational underlying belief that is generating all the other secondary level beliefs.
I think it's not a belief but an experience.
No. Your experience comes from your belief. I understand that you have experience in physical reality, and you can say, well, that happened to me, and so that's why I feel this way. But you see, you are simply putting, as you say, euphemistically, the cart before the horse. The way you've been taught to look at reality is making you think that that comes from the experience. But in fact, the experience first came from the belief. Now, once you have the experience may reinforce the belief, but it doesn't generate the belief. The belief generates the experience, which then by definition strengthens the belief. Because all beliefs must, by definition, contain an element, a component that is a self-generating, self-fulfilling aspect. If beliefs did not make it seem as if no other beliefs were possible, you wouldn't be able to have that particular experience. So when you have a belief that generates an experience, the experience will then always have the capacity to reinforce the belief and make it seem to be the only thing that's true. But that's not true. You have to get to a point where you know it's not true, no matter how it feels, so that when something happens, you can recognize that the experience is not causing the belief, it's just reinforcing the belief. And that therefore the experience can be used to put you in touch with the belief that generated the experience to begin with. You follow me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I kind of.
I think so.
Yeah.
Work with that.
Okay, I have a problem when my husband tells me to do that.
Why do you have a problem with it? And why are you defining it as a problem?
Well, because it comes from outside.
There is no outside. All the things you choose to feel, you choose to feel. Anyone could come up to you and say anything. You could still laugh, you know.
That's what he said. Someone slaps, even if someone slaps in my head, I still have to choose how I feel, how I feel.
But the point is, you're choosing, which means it's under your control. So if you are choosing to feel bad, you have to ask yourself, why would I choose that? And when you ask that kind of a question, it can put you in touch with the belief that makes you think that that's your only choice, when in fact you have many choices of how to feel and how to believe.
So you have to find out why you're choosing what you're choosing. Up to you.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.